Hiya, and welcome back to Heroes Advent, the game that teaches us that... Yeah, let's go with that. Max needs to do that. We're in OBS, so, the Dave isn't here, because we're in OBS. The Dave is in Streamlabs. This will be the first stream without Dave. Not Yeen. You know what? You know what? Just for you. Just for you. I am going to fix this. I'm going to fix this just for you. It's not there. I need a file. Dawn Chorus. Don't ask what I'm doing in Dawn Chorus. Also, I'm chewing on a thing. Chewing on a thing. Get your mind out of the gutter. Chewing on a thing. This file from all the way back in 2023. Yeah, well, Teeler is also in Streamlabs, so I should have done this earlier. And it's done. Okay. Images. Player. Okay, there's no peen. Bop. Boop. Wep. Blope. And lastly... No. 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 Here we go. Roll. Group selected items into Dave. Right there. And move it into the corner. And let's just hop right in. We just wasted 3 minutes. Let's just hop right in. It's this one. When you opened your eyes, you found yourself in the void once more. Suspended in nothingness, deprived of all senses. Wait, is NSFW off? Yes, it is. Okay. You braced yourself for another vision to take hold of you. Amethyst. Teeler is in Streamlabs. This is OBS. But nothing happens. You waited a little longer until something finally came into being, but nothing does. Oh my god, thank you for the follow! Hiya! Hi, oh my god, thank you. Thank you for the follow! But nothing does. Not the nightmarish castle corridors, not the oppressive, suffocating throne room, or any of the landscapes you had visited prior. All you could hear was the familiar hum of the Akai. Without anything happening, you tried to drop down to the ground. As your feet touched the ground like ripples in a lake, a pool of white formed around you, as if illuminated by a spotlight. You looked up to find the source, only to see a blinding strip of rainbow glimmering like Christmas lights floating in the air. You reached out to the lights as they wavered the further your hand reached out towards them. Pulling away seemed to make them return to their original positions. What the fuck? What the America? Hello, who's there? Ow! Your head felt extremely dizzy, as if you've heard something mixed with the crystal hum, only that you could not make out any of the words. Harold Potter, be not afraid. Corruption. Entropy. That word. Nothing matters in the end. Dickley? What the fuck? You heard it again, or maybe you didn't. Maybe the void was playing a trick on you. What? I don't understand. You decide to answer nonetheless. You still can't quite make out what you hear, but it sounded like a question. My name? You need my name? Thy fate will unveil for eons cometh. Give it your name or refuse. Girl just exploded Dave's mind. No! Should we also add Ceiling Wolf? No, I've seen enough movies not to give my name to some faceless creature. You do well to be cautious, but such caution is unwarranted in my presence. Elisa? Yes, it is the voice of your companions, those you have crossed paths with. This is not helping your case of not being a threat. Yet it is a necessity that we may convene this way. And how am I to believe a word coming from you?
I ask not for your trust.
Only that you listened and give this a chance. Let me check. Husbando, Alex, yep, we have no corruption. Give this a chance. Who are you even? You are not like anything I've seen before. Nor that which you have heard of. The voices of the people you knew seemingly merged into an amalgamation of a being, leaving your mind dazed. This is trippy. So what is it that you want with me? For you to understand the self. A being of self-contradiction yet harmonious in every aspect. You have within yourself the means to dictate your fate.
Whether you amend your ways or make peace with turmoil.
That is to be determined. What? You shan't hear from I again, lest the time is right. At a different crossroad. Fare thee well, Dave. Wait! At that moment, the ring you were standing on seemed to flicker before phasing out of existence entirely. Once again, you were falling, seemingly towards a bottomless pit, until... Your eyes snapped open, quickly realizing it had all been a dream. A dream much more different than the ones that had plagued you before. What did the voice mean when it said purging? You shook your head warily, setting aside the ominous warning as your mind slowly returned to reality. It was already morning by the time you woke up, leaving you rather unsure about when it was in the night that you had fallen asleep. You sat up in your bedroll, shaking off the remnants of this dream you had, despite which you still had a restful sleep. You caught sight of the lynx's tail twisting and lashing just outside the tent, already toiling away at the machine cluster you had set up. Even outside of the lab, you were pulling all-nighters, only this time you were the one to pass out first. Stepping out of the tent, you caught a glimpse of the graphs on the monitor. They didn't look that much different to the ones you'd taken yesterday, but Alex's comparatively focused scrutiny told you it was far more interesting than that. You caught his attention when he noticed you letting out a long yawn while stretch.
Oh, you're finally up. Morning.
Morning. Did I oversleep?
Perhaps a bit later than I would have predicted, but not so much to be of consequence.
Wait, there's my shoe. He handed you a cup of coffee, which you tentatively take a sip of. Thankfully, it turned out more bitter than sweet.
You did sleep quite soundly. Almost reminds me of Feston, in a way.
Oh?
You both snore. An obscene amount.
Uh-huh. Sorry, Alex.
Good grief, how can something so cute make so much noise?
Do you mean Feston or...
Yes.
So, anything new about the Akai while we slept? Alex's features turned dark, seemingly hesitating.
And what do you think about these readings, Dave?
Me? I don't really know, Alex. It's all Greek to me.
Greek? Whatever, I believe I got the memo. Just take a stab in the dark, will you?
They look pretty similar to the ones from yesterday, except it's almost like it's adapting to something. Alex perked up at that last.
Precisely so. The Akai's resonance seems to be adapting to...
Lynx's eyes trailed off again as he went quiet, lost in his own thoughts again. Alex? What is it?
I can't say just yet. I still have a few more things to finalize. I'll share the results with everyone over breakfast.
Alright. Anything I can help with?
Yes, you can start packing up our equipment, starting with the survey markers.
Are you done with them?
Yes, I have all the data sets I need for our purposes. I just need to double check and make sure I'm not making any mistakes.
Do you want me to help you here instead?
Huh? No. No, I can handle the rest from here. Just start picking up all the equipment and putting it back into the cart. We shouldn't leave this place a mess.
Right. You began making your way to the markers you had placed yesterday, casting one last glance at the Lynx, fervently going over his notes. Whatever it was that he figured out, it didn't make you feel too confident. You pushed the thought aside, however, as Alex knew more about this than you did. It was for the best to leave it to him. After a moment, you set about your task as diligently as ever, confident that a possible solution must be close at the hand for the Lynx to uncover. By the time you finished, Alex was still poring over his notes, the furrow not leaving his brow. Hey, Alex, are you sure you're alright?
Oh, are you done?
Ah, yes, everything's put away.
I'm just about finished putting the last of my equipment away, too.
He motioned to the machine sitting silently, powered down.
I'll get Max to put the heavier stuff away. Let's go see if breakfast is served, shall we? I'd say we deserve it.
Yeah, I am a bit hungry already.
Twink looks hot in the tank top. I'd totally date E.
Wait, what just happened? I don't know. Yeah, I am a bit hungry already. Approaching the fire pit, you found Max and Cody already awake and discussing what sounded like the day's plan. Max was the first to spot you, waving you and Alex over. Good morning, you two. You're up awfully late. Did you make sure to get enough sleep? Don't worry, Max, we got plenty of sleep.
Yes, an appropriate 6 hours, mind you.
That's hardly any at all.
Perhaps, though I wouldn't have been able to get much sleep anyway. Not with Dave keeping me up all night. What? No, not like that! Dave snored a lot. It kept me up all night.
But hey! Don't just blurt it out like that. To be fair, I could hear you snoring from my tent, Dave. Maybe she did a heartier dinner so you'll be too full to snore. Well, if it's food you need, I'll be happy to provide.
How about some coffee first? I'm running low on sugar.
You sure you don't just want sugar water?
I'm not a powder moth. I prefer coffee.
Alright, let's get some coffee and then some food in all of you. With everything settled down, Alex brought up the readings for everyone to see.
So from our analysis, the Akai maintains a constant mage frequency that projects the ether shield around the forest.
The projects or protects?
Projects. These are consistent with the frequencies used in the original blueprint.
He brought up a copy of schematics that you all could loosely identify as the Guardian Crystal. All the notes attached to it make no sense to you, however.
A stabilized frequency that repels anything that cannot harmonize with it, causing a significant amount of dissonance.
That's why I can repel nether beasts that are lousy with corruption. But not the netherite dust that are independently too small to get caught in the net.
That's one way of putting it. It could be that Nether has some particular behaviors that don't repel them in microscopic amounts, but we can't theorize it now. However, there was something I noticed the longer we logged the readings.
This is what you asked me about, right?
That's right. While the overall resonance is the same as the GC, the way the fluctuations work isn't the same at all.
Alex pulled up 2 additional charts. One of the ones you had taken at the camp, and another side by side.
These are our readings, and these are the logs from the lab monitoring the GC.
They're identical as far as I can tell. Looks like it, but Something doesn't feel right about it.
Correct, it's because the fluctuations aren't uniform.
The graph shifted, displaying several more lines, each with a different color.
Each one of the nodes returns its own mage signature, with the main white line representing the strongest mage signature. All living things have mage, and our strongest mage is our elemental resonance.
Right, the basics of elemental control.
Yes, and look at all the GC's wavelengths compared to the Akai's.
The frequencies seem to dip sometime. Unlike the GCs. Right, wavelengths fluctuating a lot too.
Indeed, the elemental nodes detected unusual dips in resonance, while the median frequency somehow maintained stability.
What does that mean for the GC?
It feels almost asinine to say, but the tree is a living thing.
Yeah, generally plants are a living thing, even if this one has crystals growing out of it.
One would think it obvious, but there was one other anomaly I hadn't expected to see.
Another one doesn't explain the first one.
Right, you are, Ray. It explains it and has been the final puzzle piece.
Closing the diagrams, he brought up two others. This time a graph with the wildly fluctuating smaller graphs in between. And a series of values assigned to acronyms you hadn't learned yet.
These are readings taken from the nether slug that invaded during the festival.
Linus?
One and the same. They have their own mage signatures like any other element, and have similar effects to the other elements on the body, save for its parasitic nature. And that is the last piece of the puzzle. The reason the Guardian Crystal has faltered is due to its synthetic nature.
Because it's man-made?
Yes, the reason the Akai has stood strong is due to it being a living being.
Alex brought up the Akai's readings once more, overlain with the nether graph. To one side was an anatomical biometric.
In small amounts, the body can reject nether infection. You'll be sick for a time, but eventually restore your mage's stability naturally. When infected with enough corruption to destabilize your mage is when nether takes hold, as it turns your resonance against you, only stabilized by the GC. The fluctuations in the elemental resonance was the tree fighting off nether corruption. The patterns in the elemental resonance are consistent with those of nether corruption, and the examination of nether purification we've documented before.
Wait, someone tried to poison the Akai? The serpent!
Yes, whoever poisoned the GC likely attempted to poison the Akai as well.
And what of the beast?
Possibly brought in like the slug and fed off the nether dust in the local wildlife. I can't say for sure, but that's my theory up until now. Though it is because the Akai can purge itself of the nether that its field would remain stable. No doubt about that.
So the GC was corroded over time, like you said before.
Yes, from what was reported to the lab through Lady Spring, the GC was weakened due to the corrosive essence of the nether dust. And only with the uniform pattern to repel external corruption, it had no way to expulse the corruption it had collected, leading it to reach the destabilization ratio I just mentioned.
Then if that's the case, what can we do to restore harmony to the city? The Malamute grew anxious, seemingly almost ready to shake the answers out of Akai out of Alex, if it needs be.
Well, that's where our potential solution comes in. It's for the good of everyone that we consider every possible avenue.
Al, I know what that tone means. Alex shook his head, dismissing what the dragon said. What the fuck fell? Nothing!
Because,
Alex looked at you, guiding the others to follow suit.
Dave, we'll need you to...
The fuck?
Ugh!
Alex! Ugh! Everyone doubled over in pain, leaving you standing alone as the campfire began to crackle violently. Alex? Max? Ray? Cody? What's going on?
I don't know! I felt a great disturbance in the force! Was that a sonic boom?
I felt it too. Was it because we messed with the Akai? I don't think so. That didn't feel like it came from the Akai. It felt like it was coming from the city. Everyone, look. Oh, fuck. You turned to where Cody was pointing. Off in the distance, a billow of smoke rose from the city's skyline. With the protective barrier of the GC gone, the crystal itself was in steady decline. The crystal! It's falling! Alright, team, grab what you need and prepare to head out. Well, wait, what's going on? What about the camp? There's no time. Grab your sword and head towards the bridge. I can't believe this is happening.
I can't either, but we need to leave post-haste. I'll gather the last of the records we have. You take care of the fire.
Right, Dave, you should grab your equipment from your tent. I'm on it! With only a handful of supplies from the camp, you, Max, Alex, and Cody make your way back down the hill to the checkpoint as quickly as you can. Your tents, campsite, Alex's equipment, and even the supply cart left behind in the rush. No one said a word, but you could guess that they each had something on their mind as your concerns turned to Elisa at the base of the crystal. A sickening, sinking feeling filled your guts as further destruction echoed across the distance. Breaking free from the tree line, you can see the checkpoint at the foot of the hill. The guards were already scrambling around the perimeter, the vibrant red of Ray's scales standing out as he stands by the carriage. Ray, status. Max barked at the dragon as he vaulted into the driver's seat, taking the reins of the hooves. I've briefed the guards about the situation and asked them to clean up our Akai camp and be on the lookout. Were they aware of the explosion? Yep, hard to miss it. They've asked us to head down to the guild for further instructions. One of the guards passed close enough to the carriage to be singled out. You there! What's happened to the comms? We have no idea, sir. The communication grid all went silent when we realized the Guardian Crystal was falling. Damn it all! Everyone, get in! You tried to make your way over to Max, only for him to gesture towards the carriage. We can't risk any of you falling off. Get inside, I'll give it everything we've got.
Come on, Dave, it's safer if we stay inside. These carriages are designed for pursuits.
There's no time to waste. Get in already! As soon as the door secured, you heard the shriek of the wolves as Max whips them into a frenzied gallop. Though the road to the forest was placid, the return trip was stressful. Max's hurried whips and the wolves' cries mixed with the worried glances of everyone inside the cabin. Despite the relative calm of the countryside zooming by, your head was in turmoil. The carriage jostles and tilts as Max hits every curve sharply or cuts straight off the road. Yikes!
Max, remember that the holes only work while on the road. Slow down or you'll have us all killed.
The Malamute didn't seem to hear, or just chose not to as he maintained the momentum. What was originally a half-day's trek was cut shorter as the wolves were pushed to their limit. Even at the speed you were going, it took you at least an hour or two to return to the city. Your heart was beating in your head the entire time, holding on to Alex as the look of dread dragged their mouths into troubled scowls. When the city finally came into view, you heard a cry from outside, though it zoomed by as quick as the scenery. Max! Sir Maxwell! Halt! By order of the Guildmaster Alaric! Despite their cries, Max did not stop the carriage, the secure box now a potential death trap careening into the city. The armored guard moved into position, flanking the carriage as he followed your advance. When you arrived at the eastern gate, you were greeted with the city in disarray. Signs of vandalism and destruction visibly evident on the buildings around the entrance. Down the straight-away path, you can see Vitrum Park in the distance. Max made a sharp turn down the street as you spotted purple blurs speeding past a few blocks further down. No!
It's like they said the outskirt is already overrun.
This is really happening. Unbelievable, wretched beasts in my city! Yeah, I hear you, Max. We should report back to Father at the guild. Probably not the best idea to engage right now. Damn it, Lady Elisa. Turning the carriage back onto the back roads, your group made haste back to the guild. Along the way, you listened to the murmurs of the others as streets lined up with broken glass, stone, and wood. Whatever passed by here did so without regard for what was here. The outskirts were not their target. As soon as the carriage rolled into the guild, the scale of the damage over the course of hours laid bare before you. Max hopped off the driver's seat to open the door for you before dashing into the crowd. The four of you clambered out, following as best you can behind Max, navigating through the cluttered field, where tents, tables, tarps, blankets scattered all about. Field infirmaries tending to the wounded, the medics appeared to be civilians, judging by the clothes they wore.
It's time to drink water.
Was either adults tending to crying children.
It's time to drink
looking for
water.
Things to do.
It's time to drink
Some
water.
crying for children they could not find.
It's time
The
to
rest
drink
were
water.
crowded around the entrance of the guild where Master Alaric stood upon a platform so his voice could project outward. People, please. We are doing what we can to reunite you with your loved ones and evacuate you to safety. Do not leave the perimeter of the guild until the next caravan is ready. Master Alaric, Maker's Breath Maxwell, I've only just sent for your team. We departed from the Akai as soon as we heard the explosion, sir. Sure, the Guardian Crystal's fall was heard that far out. What of the Akai? Did you manage to get results?
We have, Master Alaric. I brought all the data required to repair the GC.
Well done, lad, but I'm afraid it has come to naught.
What do you mean?
The saboteur has attacked us from within. The laboratory
Body has been
ransacked and
discovered!
set ablaze.
The towers are under fire?
So that's why the guards can't communicate with the guild. Indeed, we could not communicate to the outpost to warn you, nor contact our field agents in this vital moment.
What are we to do? They'll have my inventions!
I apologize for having to ask this of you, but I require you all to help in the evacuation efforts. Maxwell Silverbane is at your command, sir. Maxwell, head out into the city and help with the evacuation efforts. Any injured or trapped, make sure they come here safely. We'll tend to them. Yes, sir. Alexander.
Yes, sir.
I understand this might already be your intent, but you are to head down to the labs and salvage whatever weapons and technology we may require once we evacuated. Should Crystal Coast fall, the Akai may well be the last bastion of this entire continent we can seek refuge at. Even so, we cannot give up our resistance here.
Yes, Uncle.
And Cody. With the high influx of refugees, we need you to help keep them fed. Yes, an army of marchers on its stomach. Well said. With that, you need to hurry. Your remaining assistant is struggling in there on his own. Rain, one of them's gone missing? I believe so. Your tavern reported 1 personnel MIA earlier this morning. Do you know who it was? That, I'm afraid, we do not know. Our scout still hasn't spotted them in their reconnaissance. We cannot spare more manpower to investigate missing persons. I understand. I'll head into the kitchen to help with provisions. Good man. Where would they go at a time like this? I just hope he's okay. Indeed. And Ray. One moment, where's Raymond? Looking around, no longer found the dragon anywhere nearby. Rah!
Rai, where did he go? He was right here!
He only left just now. His scent was still strong. Where did he go? I would possess him to leave without dismissal. Gah! Maxwell, find Raymond and bring back the refugees with him. What are you going to ask of him? We've been attempting to breach the perimeter of the Crystal Park. So far, we haven't been able to penetrate into the inner sanctums where Lady Spring is. I need Raymond to lead our scouting party to find a weak point in their ranks. I'll let him know, sir. Very well. You all got your orders. Carry them out. Dismissed. Barely taking a moment to pause, Alaric turned away from you to address another group of mercenaries in need of instructions. You're the man. We have our orders. Let's move out. Oh, fuck.
Follow me, Dave. We have to collect all that we can from the laboratory.
It'll be quite the climb through the stairs to get there.
Stairs? What are you talking about?
Aren't the elevators disabled during a fire?
No, of course not. They don't rely on the outdated technology of police. We should be able to get to the lab and hopefully find Feston to help transport all my data pads and inventions out of there. No more questions. Clock's ticking.
Thank you. Oh shit. You're talking about Finn. Oh fuck. Right. You rushed past the main entrance into the guild, pushing your way through the crowded lobby. Within the guild proper, only a few civilians could be seen, room filled with mercenaries bearing the guild's emblem. 3 people are crammed into the front desk, helping the mercs process their orders and their reports. Without the communication network, all orders and directives had to be confirmed and taken physically. You pulled out the portable communicator Alex gave you to try calling Ray, but the line didn't even make the attempt to send out, only producing a subtle white noise.
What are you doing?
I was trying to see if we can get into contact with Ray.
No, that won't work. The communications network in the tower disabled and the GC field broken. Long-distance communication won't work.
Long distance? What about short distance?
It should still work short distance. The communicators have an effective field of a few meters, but that won't help us now. Come on!
You both managed to get to the research tower lounge. The room is filled with boxes and crates filled with crystals, machine parts, and papers. The researchers they belonged to resting on the couches and chairs, or taking stock of their inventory. Their lab coats were either covered in soot, tattered, singed, or soaking wet.
Heavens above! Hey you, Seal!
A mongoose woman walking past was caught off guard as Alex called for her. In her arms, one of the boxes filled with papers showing some signs of water damage. Alex, weren't you away from the city still?
Not important, just what in Maker's name happened here?
The upper level regulators malfunctioned, leading to a chain combustion across the tower's transformer cluster.
How? That would never happen on its own!
Precisely, which is why everybody believes it was sabotage. Our sensors picked up a sudden spike in mage frequencies. Next thing we know, the labs were on fire and the GC momentarily failed.
Again?
At any rate, the fires have been neutralized, and on Master Alaric's orders, we are to evacuate all researchers and bring what we can salvage.
We receive the same orders. How goes the evacuation?
The upper floors are cleared. The lower floors seem to be in distress.
Distress?
What kind of distress? Have the floors collapsed? The woman's expression turned dark, her nose scrunched up. It seems the fires themselves were a trap. The fires themselves?
Elaborate.
When the fires broke out, the automated dowsing system managed to extinguish the worst of it. But it's been hours and the water level hasn't stopped rising.
No, it's flooded down there?
Aye. It appears the saboteur has disabled the drainage system as well. Why would they do that? I haven't the slightest idea. Mongoose seemed to have a lot to say on the matter, but doesn't have the chance as her words were cut short with the arrival of the elevator. Researchers within file out, 6 in all, carrying a variety of tools and stacks of documents. Some you recognized, some you didn't. Without another word, Alex rushed to catch the now empty elevator. You politely excuse yourself from Seal to catch up with him, though several other lab personnel barge your way as they rush to the elevator, pushing and shoving to get in. Grabbing your sleeve, Alex pulls you into the lift, slamming the emergency button as the doors close before the others can get a foot in. You felt the lift begin to descend as the shouts and curses of the crowd faded into the distance. Alex, why did you...
The elevators are designed to prioritize the upper floors to the lower ones. On principle of security, only those who have business at the lowest floors should be on the lift by the time it gets there. My labs and the research materials for them are on the lowest floor for that reason. If anyone else tries to come in, we'd be stuck on the upper floors until the next cycle.
Yeah, but...
I can't risk losing those prototypes, Dave!
Then why didn't you let them come help you?
I have you. That's all I need for this.
Fuck. What was his name? I can't remember. The forgettable one. Alex. He didn't respond, only staring at the floor indicator above the doors, nervously clenching and unclenching his hands. The descent took a while. B1, B2, B3, B4.
All this destruction to what end? For what good?
Alex.
That tyrant and those abominations of all that is sacred. How can you believe this is for the betterment of Arborea?
Alex, calm down.
Dave, I don't care if it's a prophecy or not. You need to kill that.
Alex devolves into sputters as he gripped the handrail, shaking violently with rage.
Just promise me you will.
No, it's not Tensai. It's Ash. It's Ash. That's his name. Ash. That's that fucker's name. You were taken aback by the request, only able to offer a half-hearted consolation in return. We will put a stop to his reign, Alex, I promise. You decided not to push the subject, leaving an awkward silence between you two until the elevator slows down at the indicator. The indicator reaches B24. It stalled as a sudden heaviness makes the descent slower, taking longer before it finally reaches B25. The doors opened with some strain as water began to pour through the crack, flooding the entirety of the lift in the blink of an eye. When the water stopped pouring in, the water level settled around your waist. You turned to Alex, giving him a firm nod as you began waddling out of the elevator into the hallway. Alex followed shortly behind before the elevator door closed behind you. With the doors closed, the elevator groaned as it was summoned back to the surface, carrying with it some of the water until you were left with just the sound of water pouring down from above, the barest trickles seeping through the cracks in the ceiling.
Oh, they weren't lying. At this rate, the entire basement will be flooded in a matter of minutes.
Do we have enough time?
What matters, I believe so. It seems like everyone else has vacated the floor already.
You listened closely, but it didn't seem like anyone or anything else was splashing around with you. Only the sound of trickling somewhere in the distance.
That doesn't matter. We're only here for my possessions.
Can no one get into your lab in case of emergency?
It's my private lab for a reason, Dave. Everything in there is on a need-to-know basis. And no one needs to know what I have in there.
You continued wading forward, feeling the water seep the warmth from your skin as you arrived at the familiar door to Alex's lab. Surprised you to see the scanner still functioning as he opened the door the way he usually did. There was a lot you wanted to ask, but Alex's determined pace reminded you that time was of the essence. Jesus, no less flooded here than outside. What's the most important thing to grab first?
Here.
He tossed you a hard plastic case which turned out to be empty. A forensics case?
Now's not the time for your otherworld mumblings, Dave! Bring it here and help me pack as much into it as possible. This should keep everything inside safe.
On it. He held the case open for Alex as he threw in whatever he can salvage floating in the water. Link's frantically reaching beneath the dark surface of the water for anything that he otherwise had to shake loose from a dock or cabinet. Through it all, something made you feel uneasy as you hear splashing. Splashing that did not match Alex's movements through the lab. Splashing turned to muffled banging as you turned to the side panel where Alex's secret lab was. Alex, I think I hear something coming from the back room. Link stopped in his tracks, letting the water settle as his ears tuned in to catch what you were hearing.
Shit. What are the test subjects break containment?
He dropped everything in his arms as he moved over to the secret panel leading to the hidden lab. Crossing the sunken hallway, the splashing began to get louder, and a familiar voice came through the glass, muffled and frantic. Hello, hello. Anybody? Anybody out there? Is that?
Feston?
Please, someone! Get Feston out! Water is too high for Feston to swim! It's Feston! It's Feston! Peering through the door pane, the hidden lab was nearly filled to the ceiling in the same bright blue liquid used to examine you. Whatever controlled the fluid must have broken and begun to flood the entire room. You could see Feston's legs thrashing about in the water as he tried his best to stay close to the ceiling to breathe. Feston, are you okay? Sir Dave, is Master Alex with you? Could Sir Dave ask Master Alex to open the door for Feston? Feston has trouble breathing. Don't worry. Hang on, we'll get you out. You pulled on the door to no avail. It simply wouldn't budge by force. Alex, unlock the door. We need to get Feston out of there. Alex turned behind him, looking down the hall back to the lab. He only stood there as Feston's cries grew more desperate. Alex!
Sorry, I zoned out. What's happening?
But Feston! We need to save Feston! Alex darted his eyes towards the door, the mouse's short limbs still visibly flailing in the water, then back to you. Then to where the scanner should be, beneath the water, going back and forth between the three of you. Alex, come on! We don't have much time!
Hold on!
Lynx hesitated for a brief moment as he reached down into his pocket, presumably for the keycard or whatever it was he used to unlock the door. You sighed in relief as he pushed towards the door, getting out of the way. You let him get near as he blindly brushed his hand beneath the surface. His furrowed brow grew deeper as he frantically waved his arm under the water before finally giving the door a weak kick.
Damn it, the door's jammed!
What? Why not? The lab door opened just fine.
I don't know, it could be the water pressure preventing the mechanism from opening. Or the solution might be interfering with the wiring between the console and the crystals.
What are we going to do then?
If only we could give it some energy, if only I had my...
Alex turned to you, holding your gaze before looking back down the hall.
Maybe one of my gadgets will...
Someone! Please help! Alex, there's no time for that!
Right, give me a moment. We'll have to destroy the door.
What?
There is no other way. That room is meant to be absolutely secure. Unless you can channel lightning magic directly into the door's mechanism, there's no other way in. Sure, just blowing it apart.
Actually, what if we can?
What? How?
Reached out to take Alex's hands, much to his confusion.
Dave, what are you doing now? Is it the time to be holding a seance?
What? No, that's not what I meant. We should try to resonate again, Alex.
What? Now?
Is there a better idea?
I think anything would be a better idea, but we don't have much of a choice.
It can't be that hard, right? Even if the first time was pretty intense.
That's putting it mildly.
The second time went by well, though. Maybe third time's the charm.
You can't be certain about that.
Sir Dave! Master Alex! Please! Alex lets out an exasperated sigh, holding her hands tightly.
Fine, you know what to do. I'll hold on to you so you don't fall into the water.
Thanks, Alex. You focused your mind on the sound of dripping water in the distance, clearing your mind of the circumstances. This time you had to make sure to avoid that part of Alex. The fracture, the pain, like a scar on your soul, you could still feel it there. The surge of energy washed over you again. You welcomed it once more, grasping onto it quickly as it, even quicker, chained you to a prison of agony. Yeah! You let out a hiss at as the tapestry of memories overwhelms you again. But something felt different this time. Bombarded in an array of flashing memories and the images of loneliness, you began to pick out frames of familiar silhouettes. The painful memories clung to the outside of your skull, not dissimilar to tar, suffocating the fringes of light flickering just out of sight. Grasping at that light, you could feel a suppressed comfort hidden there. Something soft pressed against your forehead, the echoes of a voice soothing the erratic energy manifesting within you. You tried touching it, but it withdrew just as quickly, together with the warmth where it once was. Somehow you yearned for that same warmth upon your forehead once again. It made you feel safe, comforted. Everything was going to be alright. Everything would be alright. Everything will be alright.
Dave?
Gripped his hands with renewed energy. We've got this, Alex. Tell me what to do next. The lynx was baffled by your behavior as he pulled his hands free to indicate to you where to start.
Alright, focus your energy here on the door.
Okay, how much does it need?
Just keep going until you hear it move.
You did as instructed, applying the magic field towards the door, which seemed to absorb every bit of it. Judging by the lynx's movements, you seemed to be powering different compartments of the door, which remained dormant for a while. At least until an audible hiss came from within the hull, as you let the energy course from one side to the other. With one final burst of energy, the door groaned, pulling back along its tracks as fluid began to flow out into the hallway. Feston had stopped struggling as as the ceiling retreated from his snout. Alex rushed forward to catch the mouse while you focused on keeping the door powered further. The initial slow stream of water became stronger in mere moments, dragging with it sunken supplies from inside the hidden lab. Hooking his arms under Feston, Alex managed to keep the mouse above the water until he released the energy from the door.
Give me a hand here, would you, Dave?
You moved in to take Feston from him, as your foot stepped on something decidedly not synthetic. Something soft and squishy that almost made you yelp as you stepped off it. Kicked around the water for it only to find it no longer there.
Dave, what's wrong?
I stepped on something soft! Did you see it? Was it a fish?
A fish here? Seriously?
Alex's expression turned pale as a wave of realization washed over him. Alex?
No time. We need to go. Help me carry Feston out of here.
Why, what's wrong?
I think I understand our saboteur's intentions. I'll grab the things we've already packed. Take Feston to the elevator, now!
Got it. Brought Feston along out of the hallway, making your way back outside the lab doors. Not far behind, Alex brought the 2 cases you managed to fill atop a whiteboard. Navigating back to the elevator, Alex called for it again as you both waited in silence. I hope the added water doesn't break it.
Malfunction from the sheer added weight is not out of the question. That said, if it managed to hold up with the water from before, it should function just fine now.
Right.
How's Feston?
Sounds like he's sleeping.
The relief of being saved must have made him pass out. Dave, I thank you for saving him. If it had been up to me, I probably would have.
Hey. He reached out to Lynx, wet hand over his shoulder. It's not what you would have done that matters. It's what you have done, right? You told me that I could decide for myself if I became a hero, and maybe I'm not the hero of the prophecy, but what we just managed back there, that felt pretty damn heroic to me. Plus, if it had been just me, I'd probably be just as stuck without you. So don't beat yourself up over it.
Dumbass.
Psh. You both felt waves in the water as the lift descended into it. The current practically dragged the 3 of you in the moment the door opened. With the cases securely on board and your 3rd passenger in hand, Alex pressed the emergency close button. Once again, the doors closed and the lift struggles to rise as the water gradually drained out through the seams. You set Feston down on the damp elevator floor as you let yourself slide down to sit as well.
That took a lot out of him. That took a lot more out of you than we expected.
Yeah, I didn't think things would have been this bad.
Peace tends to breed complacency. We were ill-equipped to deal with this. With all of this.
The Lynx himself leaned against the wall of the elevator, sliding down into a sitting position with you.
I think this is where we should part ways, Dave.
Your ears perked up. Did you hear him right? Part ways? What's wrong? Do you need to stay here and help with the evacuation efforts?
No, Dave, this thing with the door. If something were to happen out there and my gadgets run out, I'll just be dead weight again. Probably best if I stay and help with the evacuation of the city while you and Rye continue helping on the front lines.
You're joking. Are you serious? Alex winced as you raised your voice at him, averting his gaze towards the unconscious Feston. You're as much an important member of the team as I am, Alex.
Yes, I am fully capable, so long as I have my machines to do the work for me. Without them, I'm useless.
And without you, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this. Makes you feel better. I could be your machine.
What?
Yes, I mean it. Please, you can make use of me however you like. Alex seemed stunned at your proposition, staring you dead in the face. Stared back at him, adamant in getting your point across. Though it wasn't long before he cracked, breaking into incredulous guffaws.
I can't take you seriously at all with that stupid look on your face.
Just like that, your facade was rendered broken. Now it was your turn to look at Feston to avoid Alex's taunting gaze.
For what it's worth. Thanks, Dave. I needed that.
You weren't quite sure what to say, only nodded back with a smile. Not long after, the elevator safely arrived at the lounge as several researchers awaited outside, most of them quite shocked to see the 3 of you sitting inside, exhausted. Most of them immediately helped bringing you and the cases out. Medical crew on board tended to Feston right away. You heard mutterings about needing to remove the water in his lungs. That just left you and Alex standing alone out front as the rest of the researchers crammed into the lifts as it rose to the upper floors again. Feston.
He'll be alright. Might take some time to recover, but he'll bounce back.
I hope so too. Well, there's that. What now?
You should head back for now. Wash up and get a change of clothes.
Now, is that really okay? Should I report in right away?
And what catch a cola we're out there again? Come on, Dave, you should know better than that.
Well, when you put it like that, I guess it makes sense. Actually, shouldn't you do the same?
I should, but first there's a few things I need to discuss with some of the senior members about what happened in the basement.
Wait, what?
So head back first, I'll go in a bit. We regroup out front where Master Alaric is.
Alright, stay safe, Alex.
You too, you crazy mutt.
It's time to drink water.
That was perfectly timed.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
It took you a bit to return to the dorm room. It wasn't like you didn't know the way, but rather something about this sudden lull in atmosphere was bothering you. With a sigh, you decided to step into the shower. Might as well clean up and get a change of clothes. So it didn't sit right with you that while there was a literal siege going on outside, you were still back in your room like this. After waiting for the flooded underground lab, you'd sooner catch a cold if you didn't shower. Better safe than sorry, lest you ruined the whole operation for this one misstep. After all, you knew that all of this was far from over. Oh, hiya, welcome! Welcome, Mr. Developer. And I'm gonna hydrate real quick. The basement was tense! Yeah, I think his name is Candor. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, he's here. Welcome. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Having made up your mind, you quickly dressed up, grabbed your equipment before heading off to the main hall. The atmosphere there was still tense, and yet somehow a lot calmer than the previous chaotic site. Many guild personnel had returned from the field. Some sat around eating from trays of food given out by the tavern, while the rest still diligently going about with their tasks of attending to the refugees. There, among the now orderly lines of mercenaries, you spotted the others on the far side near the entrance. Hey guys. Dave! Hey!
Ah, Dave, there you are.
Did I miss anything?
No, we only just met up a moment ago.
Right. So, is everyone alright?
Huh? Oh, they're fine. It's just the exhaustion kicking in.
Welcome to Hero Advent, the game that teaches I can make perfect moments to hydrate in this VN.
Exactly! Remember to hydrate. Hydration is important. Oh, damn, he left. Oh, well. Oh, right. Right. How's Feston doing?
He's stable, still resting at the infirmary as we speak. I had thought of staying there, but Seal happened to show up again and agreed to stay there and keep him company in my stead. Quite a sight for sore eyes, I'd say.
Oh, did you not expect her to help?
I suppose not with all the research tower in disarray.
Sorry about what happened to your lab, Alex. To think a lot of your works down there is now lost to the sabotage. This is like losing all the recipes that you worked so hard to perfect. How horrible.
It's a shame that Saboteur had to resort to this vile form of disruption. However, not all is lost. As I mentioned, Dave and I had recovered what we could along with Feston. And after much discussions with my colleagues, they did volunteer to send a team of aquatic divers down there to retrieve what's left in the waters.
Yeah, sound like Finn, maybe?
It is likely that he may be among that crew.
Well, it's good that you both are okay. Don't forget that your safety is still paramount, guys. Understood. Oh, right, almost forgot. Where did you run off to earlier, Ray? About that. Apparently, Rai was looking for his brother, Tristan. So when I got to him, we went looking for him together. Wait, Ray? Ray has a brother? My younger sibling, yep. See, here's the thing. Tristan joined the guild not long ago, maybe a bit before you came around, Alex. Dave. A bit before you came around, Dave. He's very eager to prove himself, no matter how dangerous the task is. Who knows what sort of trouble he'd have gotten himself into without me around. Hey, yo. But... It's very easy for me. Guess I was worried for nothing when we returned to the guild. Tristan was there, safe and sound. He even got commended for his first assignment done. Man was visible over the moon. Takes me back to my first year. It sure does. Say, what about you, Cody? I heard the kitchen was crowded to all hell and back. That's an understatement. Not even our busiest lunch rush had that many people pouring into the place. Luckily, the owners of other restaurants and diners across the city came by to help. Even though we run our place very differently, I couldn't thank them enough for lending a hand in this time of need. No kidding, sounds like your assistants would really appreciate the help too. They definitely would. Especially Tensai, who had to man the place the entire time when Ash went missing. Went missing? Yep, that's what Ten said anyway. And at some point they were running low on supplies. Ash went to get the pantry restocked, only to never return since. That's very strange. Why didn't you guys send someone to look for him? Dave, don't forget that given the state of affairs, we cannot search for every missing persons on demand. I see. So what now? We've managed to contain the threat around the guild for now, just so the Nether army can't advance any further towards us. But the rest of the city, that's an entirely different beast to handle. I see. So what's the plan? As you can see, Sir Alaric is mobilizing everyone for a counter-push. As part of the few strike teams taking point, we need to move fast and hit hard in order to regain ground. Do not stop until we've reached Vitram Park. Is everyone ready? Ready! Let's go! Move out! Oh shit! What's all this? This is new! Okay, so we're here. That's the guild exit. This is new. And oh shit. We're just gonna beat the shit out of everyone. Oh, what the fuck? You dodged. That's cheating. He cheated. He cheated. I'm reporting you. I'm reporting him. One slap and the girl is gone. Wait, what happens if we die here? Do we die in real life? Is this a fucking Sonic.exe thing? If you die here, you die in real life. I'm calling it now. I don't feel like dying in real life. You know what? Let's try magic. Shit. We can't run away. The corrupted Borix took 4 damage. That is insulting. Ray literally spat fire. That is insulting. I love it. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I cannot take that seriously. Advancing from the guild's backsides, you soon arrived upon a crossroad diverging into 2 different directions. That's a warehouse district in front of us. You could either cut through this in the residential district, pretty much a straight path to the park. Our scouts report increased nether activity in that sector. It will be a risky move.
Or perhaps we could take the other fork. The eastern crossroads seem far enough away from the contested areas.
Correct, that's our main route for sending reinforcements to help with the evacuation. And then we could loop around them to the market district. Arvin told me the other teams have cleared the way first. That doesn't guarantee really that the path will be completely safe, but at least that means the nether concentration will be less intense there.
It'll take longer for us to reach the park, too.
Yeah, ample time for the baddies to reoccupy the area. Regardless, we cannot risk it by splitting up now. We just need to pick a path and stick to it. What do you think, Dave? You know what? What do you think? Go south. I wish. Just fucking leave. Secret third option. Leave. Secret third option, just leaving. Bye. Northwest. If only. Go east. Southeast. Southwest. We're gonna go southwest. East, maybe? If we go east. Let's take the right path. Better safe than sorry. Alright, let's move out, team. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and 1, 2, 3 there. There was an eerie calmness when you crossed the threshold to the outer ring. There was not a single person or nether beast in sight, and none that you could hear either. Once pristine and manicured park was left in shambles, glass scratched up by hooves and shrubs trampled or otherwise uprooted. You drew your sword, warily scanning your surroundings, following along the pavement further in. In the silence, you could hear the familiar gentle hum of the guardian crystal, somehow warped into a dissonant vibration. Made you feel some kind of sick to your core, as if your stomach could churn inside out. Looking up, the once protective crystal began to feel overbearing, as though about to crush you the moment you approached the inner sanctum. Elisa! Elisa! Everyone's safe. We need to get out of here. You hollered as loud as your burning lungs allowed, hoping to get the rabbit sage to come out sooner. Elisa! We need to get out of here. Alex and the others will cover our escape. Still no response. Not from Elisa, not from any guards, only the violent and anguished shriek of the guardian crystal. Elise! Ah! A series of sharp jabs ran up your legs, pinning your muscles in place like a mannequin. Your momentum threw you into a forward roll, hitting the ground hard enough to lose the grip of your sword. Fuck! Gav, what the hell, my legs! Reaching down for your legs, your hands instantly recoil at the sharp, jagged spikes protruding from your knees and calves. A brief glance told you they were clouded shards of opaque purple, reminiscent of obsidian deliberately thrust through your legs. Elisa! You cried out, not kicking yourself for needing to be saved by the one you came to save yourself. Though you did hear the voice of someone familiar coming towards you from the sanctum. Dave, is that you? Are you alright? Who's there? Over here, Sir Dave. Good heavens, what happened here? What did they do to you? I am very suspicious of you. Ashford, what are you doing here? It's not safe. Yes, I'm aware. I, too, was caught in this sudden strife. I had managed to find sanctuary within the sanctum along with the guards and Lady Spring herself. You managed to get here when the invasion happened? How is Lady Spring? Is she safe? I should say so. She has managed to fend off those beasts while maintaining the crystal afloat. I dare say I won't be forgetting what she's capable of. But enough about that. Come, Dave. Let's get you inside before those creatures find us out in the open. Snow Leopard leaned down, extending his hand out for you to take. Where are the guards, Ashford? It'd be easier if they were here to help us. If they are still recovering from the initial assault, Dave, let us not raise any undue alarm. Surely we could escort ourselves to safety, yes? Or do you not believe me capable of carrying you myself? He chuckled mirthfully as he once again offers his hand to you. Pushing back on your elbows, you decided to draw away from the snow leopard. Hold up! Alaric told us that Elisa sent the guards away to get the townspeople to safety. Why didn't you go with them? I insisted on staying here to assist Lady Spring with defending the inner sanctum. I'm sure you can understand my concerns for her ladyship. She is the final beacon of hope for her people. Your fear for her well-being must be clouding your judgment. Please allow me to escort you to her. Ashford took 2 steps closer to you, once again thrusting his hand towards you, just a lot more forcefully this time around. You continued scooting back from Ashford bit by bit as he continued to follow you step by step. Nobody knew Nobody knew where you were, Ash. You were MIA as far as anyone could tell. I suppose the guards simply omitted mentioning my staying here. I am an unremarkable individual, after all. Merely a background character in your story. You finally reached what you had been inching for. The hilt of your sword clattered as your fingers bumped into it. Grasping it firmly, you brought it forward, holding it towards Ashford's chest to keep him at arm's length. You're the spy, aren't you, Ash? Did you come to that conclusion all by yourself? hero? Or perchance do those friends of yours tell you that? His tone grew both cynical and ecstatic as he leaned down to meet you at eye level. I was so looking forward to doing away with you and your pathetic cater. Especially that oafish bear. The things I had to put up with under his supervision. Oh, what a waste of my talents. Ashford clenched his fists, and you could hear him grit his teeth with a painfully forced smile. We fucking called it! We fucking called it! We fucking called it! Wait, with a painfully forced smile. But this will do nicely. Saves me the time of picking your friends off one by one. You've even done me the favor of stumbling into my netherite traps. You. Ashford held a hand to his head, shaking it with a derisive smile upon his face. Okay, we so far have zero corruption, actually. You are far too kind, hero. Though I must say, you've left me rather disappointed. His Majesty had a great and many expectations of you, and yet you're nothing more than another tribute. A dying breed, heroes. What a pity. He looked you up and down, eyes lingering upon the sword in your hand. With that said, I must admit I am intrigued. When you crossed that threshold into that establishment, I had not expected you to be a hero of prophecy. Imagine my surprise to learn His Majesty had lost sleep over something so pitiful as you. Still, I did not expect you to survive this long, let alone be a thorn in my side as much as you have been. All the more reason I'll have to stop you here, I'm afraid. You held your sword closely, drawing from your borrowed powers in your offhand. Who exactly are you, really? Yeah, since you asked so politely. Before your eyes, Ashford's appearance shifted, his uniform melting away into an officer's regalia. I am General Ashford de Helmgarten, Galantine by birthright, and King Leonhard's most trusted advisor. I didn't need to know that much. Well, you did ask. His demeanor softened into an amicable smile once more. Why are you even doing this? Can't you see all the harm you've been causing? What you call harm is nothing more than a necessity, dear Dave. We do this for the well-being of Gallant, the well-being for all of Vaboria. Yeah, right, that's the biggest lie of the century right there. Is that so? You don't believe yourself to be the only one on the side of righteousness, do you? How self-serving do you think that how self-serving to think that yours is the only correct way of living? Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Do not mistake yourself, hero. You exist only to uphold the current standard. I am a revolutionary who has changed this farce of an existence. And the results speak for themselves. Your pathetic empire have crumbled under the king's reach. His Majesty's superior rule is what will sustain the future of this land. Your Majesty's rule has led to nothing but death and losses among the people. Look at all the amount of agony and despair you've sown throughout the country. And that is not their deserved punishment. What, you think they deserve this? Those Polarian parasites are what caused this uprising. They have only themselves to blame. For nearly a century, we've endured ridicule, and strife. In their eyes, Gallant was but a land of slaves and tools to be taken advantage of. Hang on. I'm gonna get comfortable. His Majesty's rise to power changed that. His upheaval of the Baumgarten House saved us from the brink of extinction and gave us a chance to live again. For that feat alone, he is a true hero of Arborea. Do you get it now, hero? That is why this war is a necessity, to save our future generations from falling back into decay and decadence. To put an end to an era of shackles and break the cycle of segregation. And you think you can accomplish this by razing every city you came across to the ground? You have ruined so many lives for the sake of your own entitlement. You've taken more than you were owed, and still think yourselves the victims? Do not lecture me on the matters of morality, boy! You have not endured true hardship and famine for the better half of your life. What good is morality when craven crystal sucklers who think themselves better than the weak? We at last stand on equal footing, and yet you dare call us corrupt? Who wouldn't? Do you even hear yourself talk? You sound like a crazy politician. All these lies and half-truths about how rough you've had it. Do you think these people were living in the lap of luxury for the past 20 years? What do you know about these disgraceful traitors? You've barely been here for a month. Maybe I don't, but I have seen and heard stories about the misery these people have to endure. You and your king destroyed their homes, forcing them to migrate here, and even with the Guardian Crystal, their livelihoods are still at stake. These people just want to live peacefully, and you still see them as a threat. What is wrong with you? Chatbox, you're fired. Your misplaced sympathy is simply baffling. Their misery was their own making. How ignorant of you to assume we'd never offer them a helping hand. We are more than willing to look past their transgressions and start things anew. They need only to submit to His Majesty's rightful rule, and then would they have known utopia, but alas, they never did. Ah, fuck. They never yielded. Pray tell then, how are we to blame, when they have forsook that choice? Yeah! A choice that you and your bloodthirsty marauders forced upon innocent folks, huh? Your king is just a sad and despicable— Enough! The snow leopard feinted you with a kick, which you very narrowly deflected. I have entertained your ignorant bleating for far too long, sheep. Whatever leniency I've offered you have been an error. You will submit to His Excellency's will. And not the kind of diplomacy I prefer, but it seems that, that's the only persuasion you'll listen to. I won't let you get away for the crimes you've committed here this day, Ashford. Ordina e Prosperita. Ordina Prosperita. You brandished your sword again, pointing the blade towards the snow leopard, who seemed indignant as ever. If you plan to protect this dying city to your last breath, so be it! A diligent soldier never loses sight of their goal. He draws forth 5 ice daggers between his fingers as a delighted smile spreads over his face. Strive always for victory, no matter the cost. It's Jover. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Oh fuck! Critical hit! That oh my god! That was foul! That was foul! Candover, that was beautiful. That was foul. I love it. Oh, damn! Like, we could just flick him, and he would fucking die. That was beautiful. Oh my... Wow! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! That was beautiful! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was amazing. Ugh, how can you be this strong already? Oh my god. This was not how this was supposed to happen. Give it up, Ash. The others will be here any minute. Fool, I will not be caught like some common rodent. No, I will do what I have to, what I've set out to do. Hey, get back here, I'm not done with you. Ugh! You chased behind him through the fog as it begins to clear, his focus disrupted. His figure was barely visible, even in the all-black attire. The thickness of fog managed to obscure his outline. Much to your fear, he disappeared for a moment before you managed to catch sight of him again. Your footsteps echoed throughout the sanctum as the fog clears enough for you to see the ceiling. Somewhere within the fog, you could hear Elisa's voice humming the same tune as the Guardian Crystal did before. You pushed out of your mind as you returned your focus to catching up with Ashford. At last there he was, cornered with his back to the window, shining light through the fog. The snow leopard turned around calmly to face you. Though he attempted to maintain his composure, his chest was obviously heaving from the pursuit. Stubborn as a Borix, aren't you? You heroes never know when to give up. I'd watch what I'm saying in your position. Turn yourself over to the Gallanteers or get cut down where you stand. Ah, you're just bluffing. If you couldn't kill me when you had the chance, I seldom believe you'd do it now. You kept your sword poised towards the snow leopard, the narrow room leaving little space to escape without getting stuck in the attempt. Riddle me this, what can you accomplish by not killing me now? Fame! Glory, accolades, titles. I thought that said titties. I thought that said titties for a second. Isn't that what all you heroes desire? No. No, I desire man tits. I don't know about you all, but when I saw titles, I immediately read that as titties. I'm sorry. Honestly, none of that even crossed my mind. I don't want to kill you if I could help it, Ash. If he had been truthful about his position as the king's advisor, he was more worth to you alive than dead. You're more to us alive. Well, now, look who's stealing my lines. I actually have a use for you. Your lots will not get a single shred of information out of me. I'd be better off dead. Felt a frigid gust blow by your cheek as a fresh wound was opened by Ashford's ice daggers. You're fine! You leave me no choice! You broke into a sprint towards Ashford, arm held back to slash the traitor across the center of his mass. The snow leopard only braced himself, taunting you with deranged glee. It's the end of the line, Ashford! Your sword never tasted flesh as you slammed your shoulder into Ashford. Having fainted with the false strike, you dropped your blade to put the full force of your body on him. You trout-brained fool! How could you do this to me? Goodness, Dave! What the? Bodies made contact as you both fell hard onto the floor. Clattering was heard along with a soft flopping onto the concrete. Lisa's voice shook you immediately as you drew yourself off her in embarrassment. Elisa? What are you doing here? That should be my question to you, dear. What on Arborea are you doing in the sanctum? In the city at all, for that matter. No, none of that matters right now. Are you alright? I didn't hurt you, did I? And Ashford, did he try to hurt you? Easy there, Dave. Shh. It's alright. She sat up, reaching out to pull you into an embrace. At that moment, you heard footsteps running out of the room. I'm fine, Dave. I'm just glad to see you safe. And this Ashford. Is that the Chef Cody's assistant? Why would he be here? Wait, you didn't hear everything that's happened just now? I'm afraid not. Keeping the Crystal of Loft is a taxing ordeal on its own. The crystal! As Rabbit Sage gasped, a large metallic twang rang out above the sanctum as the guardian crystal's chaotic vibrations began to go haywire. The ground began to rumble as the crystal approaches the ground fully unbidden. Dave, stay close! Elisa held you tight to her chest as she vocalized an incantation. You didn't get to take in her silvery voice as chunks of crystal clashed against the sanctum's roof. You screamed out of instinct as you felt the weight of the world crumbling down on you. Oh shit. That doesn't sound good. I know you did not. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. A New Dawn, it got updated? Wait, did A New Dawn actually get updated? I don't think it got updated. Oh, it did? Well, can someone give me more information on that? And stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.